Okay, I am here with Jada Warner. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Happy to be alive. Thanks for
Yes,
coming in
always.
today.
Of course.
So let's start. Tell me a little bit about you.
My name's Jada. I currently am taking a gap year. I just graduated high school. I'm taking a gap year from college, trying to figure things out, going to travel the
I
world
think that's
a little
really
bit.
smart.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that? Was that something you always knew you wanted to do? Did your parents recommend it?
Absolutely not. Since 8th grade, I have been so set on college. I wanted to go to an Ivy League. I had a plan. Like, I knew I wanted to go to college. And then just opening up my mind to different possibilities, I had never done that. It was always high school, college, job. And so just kind of realizing that I didn't know what I wanted to do yet, even though for so long I thought I had a plan, but everything was just changing. And so I just opening up my eyes to different possibilities. My mom kind of mentioned it a little bit, and I never thought about it. So the second that she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to go to college right now. Like, it's not an end-all be-all right out of high school.
Right.
So, and I've always wanted to travel, and I believe that if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it because I am very focused on the things that I do. So once I have a job.
So do you have a plan for your travel? Like?
Yeah, I'm going with a program. It's 15 students and then a couple mentors and / teachers. So we're going to Fiji, New Zealand, and Australia for 3 months. We'll be doing classes, community service, and then also just exploring and surfing, skydiving, stuff like that. So.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun.
Wow, very cool. Okay, so let me see here. Where else are we gonna go with this? Oh yeah, so tell me about you, sort of some of your hobbies, interests, what you're into.
Outside of acting, I'm very involved in health and fitness. That's kind of my thing. Like, that's just kind of what my family knows me for, stuff like that. I just really am interested in improving myself in all fronts, and so that's one of the ways that I've been able to do that, just constantly improving my strength or my mental toughness, etc., just stuff like that. And so
And your faith is really important to you as well, right?
Yes, for sure. Got baptized April 30th, 2017. I grew up in a Christian home, but high school was when it really hit home that I don't have to believe what my parents believe. I do. Like, it just happened that I do, but just exploring what I really believe and why I believe it was very, like, life-changing for me, because for so long I believed in God but didn't know why I did. It was just because my parents told me that there's a God, you know what I mean? Right. So high school I really dove into
Was there
church
a moment for
community.
you? Was there like something where you're like, this is the day, like I sort of get it?
Yeah. When I was in 7th grade, and then obviously it didn't just stop in 7th grade, but I went through an eating disorder and depression. And that whole time I felt so lost and alone. And then as I was recovering, I kind of realized that the reason that I went through all that was because I was just straying away from everything that God was pointing me to do. Like, there were so many signs, and I was just constantly pushing them away. And I realized that the only way I was going to get through my recovery was if I used His strength and not my own, because I was not strong enough to do that on my own. So that was kind of the turning point where it was like, oh my gosh, I need Him. Like, I can't do this on my own,
Right.
and I don't want to do this on my own. So.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of times before you understand it, it's hard to get. But if you realize that God's always redirecting you, right? And so the sooner you learn to say yes, like for instance, taking a gap year. Your mom mentioned it, and then it felt right? And that's the spirit inside you saying, yep, go, right? And when you fight that, you might have gone to college and then had a really bad experience because you're doing the thing that you're not supposed to do, and you know it, but you do it anyway, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then you can take anything bad that happens or doors that close, and you can start saying thank you instead of saying,
For sure.
why or whatever.
And it's getting harder and harder to kind of push away what society tells you to do and focus in on yourself and what the Lord is telling you. But the more that you do that, the more fulfilled you'll feel every single day, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a journey, but trying to get there,
And I don't think the journey ever ends. That's cool. Okay, so so tell me about how, like when and how you came here and what that first experience was like walking into the studio.
So when I was ages 10 to 12, I did some musical theater at Valley Youth Theater in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I loved it. That was like my thing for those couple of years. And then I got a lead role in Annie, and I had never really learned how to properly sing. It was more belting all the time, and so it took a huge toll on my voice. I would not be able to talk at all unless I was performing, and then I would have to belt, and my throat just hurt for so long afterwards. So I got some vocal damage, and still to this day, if I try to sing for extended periods of time or constantly, like every day or something like that, I'll still feel some pain in my throat. And so last summer, I was kind of just reminiscing on that whole experience, and I was like, why did I ever stop that? You know, I loved it so much. I had amazing friends and everything, and I was like, let's just try the acting part without even though singing was my favorite part at the time, that was the part that kind of drew me to it in the first place, but I was like, let's just try it, just acting, maybe I'll like it just as much. So I remember researching some private coaching, and my dad was like, we're not going to get right into let's do some group classes, see if you actually like it.
Sure.
And so out of all the kind of websites, it just looked the most like put together, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You know, it drew me the most. So I was like, I'm just going to try it. And I came in, and I don't remember exactly what we did the first day, but I do remember Shay giving me a hug the first day, and I was like, oh yeah, like I love this. And just everyone being nice, and I was just hooked, and it was challenging me, which I love to be challenged, and so stayed with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So then, where would you say acting fits in your life right now? Like, do you see it being a part of your future at all?
I'm definitely trying to figure that part out. I'm someone that everything I do 150,000%. So it's super hard for me to kind of do things just as hobbies, because I do the second I got into acting, I was like, I want to be a professional. Like, I want to be in every movie, like stuff like that. So it's super hard for me, because I do feel like I need to choose, because I'm going to pour my everything if I choose acting, if that makes sense. So I'm definitely trying to figure out if that's what the Lord wants for me, or if it's just kind of, you know, do I just want to be famous? Like, I'm trying to figure out my motives behind it before I jump into that.
Well, let me ask you, do you want to be famous?
There's days where I notice that that's kind of why I'm drawn to actors and actresses.
Got it.
But then other days, like when I come here, I know that I really do love it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I just want to be sure that my motives are right,
Cool.
because I won't be able to continue to push through, you know, all the no's and just the hard times if all I want is to be famous. You know, you have to love the process.
Yeah.
So trying to figure that out. But definitely, that's definitely a possibility, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you have the talent for it if you decide to do that. So tell me, how is Deering Acting Studio? So it's been, what, about a year?
Mm-hmm.
How has the studio impacted you outside of here, outside of acting?
So I think the biggest impact has been outside of the studio, just feeling free to be myself. I just think that I honestly have spent so long trying to be the perfect version of myself and try to do everything right, and just coming here has taught me to just let go of everything that, you know, is telling you should say this or do this. And especially improv, just you don't have time to think about what you're about to say, you just have to say it. And for so long, I catch myself all the time thinking through what I'm about to say to make sure that that no one else will judge me for what I'm saying. And I come here and it's like, just be, you know, you don't have to think, you don't have to worry about what other people are thinking. And that's just been huge for me, because I'm someone that really cares about what other people and their perception of me. So just coming here, and I really feel truly myself, because I'm not worried about anything.
Yeah,
So
that's good. So is that something you've kind of started to let go of?
For sure.
Outside of here?
And just something that I've also put into practice from being here is just, if it scares me, I should do it. Like, I'm constantly telling myself that, you know, why am I not doing this? Oh, I'm scared that someone's going to judge me. Got to do it. You know, I got to challenge myself in those ways. And so that's been super cool for me. Even, you know, Brian will say, 2 people up. I'm like, I don't want to, go. Like, you got to go because you don't want to. So things like that, where it's just teaching me to not worry so much. So it's been really good.
Good, okay. So tell me about how your process has changed, the way you prepare.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, because when I was at Annie, for example, if you were to come and ask me the 50 questions that we do now on the background, I honestly would not have been able to answer any of those unless it was specifically written in the script and it said it and everyone knew. And so that's just been so amazing, because you fall in love with the character, and it's so much easier to believe what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's never a performance anymore. You know, I'm not trying to perform and do this part right. I'm just trying to live in that character and do the character justice and the author justice. And so just changing that mindset to believing it and actually being in it instead of performing it has been the biggest thing for me.
What about Masterclass?
Yeah, Masterclass has been amazing. I remember emailing Shay just asking kind of like, what are the prerequisites? You know, like, what do I have to do? And she's like, oh, want to do it next month? And I was like, me? Like, are you sure? I haven't, like, I don't know. I definitely wanted to, but I was just not ready for that response. Yeah. So I jumped in, and the other partner, Xavier, was also new, and so it was new for both of us, and we both got to experience it together, which was super cool. And it just, I was able to kind of put in my practice of, you know, that 110%, because in classes there's only so much you can do to prepare for like just like a monologue, you know what I mean? Like there's only so much I felt like I could do, and I just wanted more, and it kind of gave me that ability to, there was always something I could be improving on with my script. You know, I could always go back and find something new, or just find different little things about the character, which was so cool because I was able to really pour my heart into it like I wanted to.
So the last scene you did in Masterclass, you sort of had a personal connection there, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I didn't even realize it was so in my face, and I never really put it together, but the character that played my sister, or I don't know how I would say that, but my sister in the scene was going through, you know, she wasn't sure if she had a mental illness, and my little brother has been struggling with his is OCD, so some mental illness, and my whole family has struggled to just know what we're supposed to do, because you don't want to act like you know what they're going through, because you don't. There's no way to know unless you're going through it, but you also want to help him. So it's just been super hard on the whole family, and the character that I was playing was going through that same struggle, where it was like, I really do love you and want to help, and I don't necessarily know how to help, but I love you, and that's all. Like, everything that I do is from love, even though to you it might seem like I'm trying to push you too hard or I don't get it, but I love you. And that's the biggest thing, is just where I found the emotion was just, I do love you. And when it came from love is when it kind of clicked that, like, I know that we're not on the same page because I can't understand you, you don't understand me, but we both love each other, and that's where it.
So if you do end up going down the acting route, and really whatever you do in life would be the same thing, but what's so interesting to me, and the reason why I do this and why I want to help other people do it, is because of the impact you can have on people. And your performance in that last day impacted a lot of people, whoever was here in the audience and whoever might see that class online one day, could relate to this girl who's relating to her sister from a very real place. And I always say, you know, going back to faith, I believe it so deeply that that I don't actually choose the play for you. You know, it's chosen for me, for you, and there's a reason for it. And I didn't know any of that about you, and yet this is like, it was what was supposed to happen, right? You were supposed to be in this play for this reason, learn this thing. And then if I want to go back to one more thing you said that I really liked, which was the idea of falling in love with your character. I always say you should fall in love with your character. What's interesting is, what was your character's name again?
Claire.
Claire. So Claire wasn't easy to fall in love with right away, right? She had all these issues, and you know, she had her personality, kind of how she was, but she was imperfect, right? And of course, everybody's imperfect. If she wasn't imperfect, she wouldn't be human, right? And so you forcing yourself, finding a way to love this character despite who they are, is like what God does for us, you know? Yeah. And so it's like this wonderful example of how we're supposed to love each other, is finding a way to love this character, you know? You came and saw the play I was in recently, right? And my character had done some pretty horrible things. I had to find a way to love him. And I had to go all the way back to his childhood, where his mom died, and his mom, the only thing he remembers of his mom was the way she did his hair. And when his mom died, his dad went off in the loony bin, basically, and was abusive. So does it justify what my character did? No, but I had to find a way to understand who he was and humanize him so that I could love him, so hopefully the audience would love him and be scared of him simultaneously, you know?
Yeah, it's so easy to judge the character. And, you know, I looked at that character and I was like, oh, she's so mean. I'm nothing like her. Like, she's just so rude, all these things. And then I realized that I'm literally her. Like, she is me. And so it just goes to show that, you know, in life, like, we're so quick to judge people based on their actions, what they say, things like that. But you're just like them. Like, we all are similar.
And you don't know what you would do if you grew up in their circumstance,
yes,
right?
For sure.
So if you give them a chance and you love them where they are, there's a chance they can, you know,
surprise you.
Find happiness. Yeah. Okay. One word that describes this place.
I choose liberating, just because, like I said before, just letting go of all the barriers that were not allowing me to be completely myself and not allowing me to do the things that I really wanted to do without fear of failure or mistakes or judgment from other people. So just liberating. I honestly, the second I open that door, every single time I come in here, it's just like whoosh, like it's a new me. I just feel so happy. There's days that I come in, I had a really tough day, and I'll get in here and I'll laugh so hard that it's like, no, this is a great day. Like, it doesn't matter what happened earlier today. Like, this is a great day. I'm here. I'm doing something I love, and so just liberating.
Awesome.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Any advice you have for the aspiring actor or non-actor? Because, you know, you're not even sure what you want to do. So someone who just maybe they're interested and curious, what would you tell them?
I just think the biggest thing is that just weighing the pros and cons. There's really nothing bad that can come out of just trying it. If anything, you'll learn, okay, maybe acting isn't my thing, but I promise you'll grow as a person in some way. So you're going to get some positive out of it, no matter where you lie on, you want to be an actor, you don't want to be an actor. So I just think that's the biggest thing is if you want to grow as a person, then come and try it out, and you'll learn something about yourself that you didn't know before. So
awesome. Thank you.
Do it.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course.